Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this quick tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to save player coins in Roblox using data stores. By the end, your players will be able to leave the game, rejoin later, and still keep all their progress. Now, without further ado, let's get started. First, what you want to do is click File in the top left corner. After that, click Game Settings and Save to Roblox. Here, customize the game however you like. After you're done, click Save. Then after you save your game, it should automatically load the game back on. If not, load the game up manually. Now click File again and click Game Settings again, and turn on Enable Studio Access to API Services. Now, let's actually get to scripting. First, insert a script into Server Script Service, and copy my code. So first I grab two services. DataStore Service, which lets us save and load information from Roblox's servers, and Players, which helps us detect when people join and leave the game. Then I create a new data store with this line. What is this for? Well, basically, this is like opening a folder called Coins. You can name it anything you want, but you always need to give it a name so Roblox knows which folder to open. Or this is just a thing in your game that you will want to save. In my example, I will be saving coins, but in more complex games like simulators, you'll need to save multiple things like gems, XP, levels, etc. And you will have to give them a different name. There's also a way to save the whole inventory, so basically everything you want to save, but I'm not going to go over that in today's video. Now, we want something to happen whenever a player joins. That's where the event players.PlayerAdded comes in. When we write this function, it will run whenever someone joins the game. The word player in the brackets is a variable that represents the player who just joined. Some people call it PLR, or even just P, it doesn't matter. It's just a name you give to that player object. But whatever you call it, inside this function, it will always mean the person who joined. Inside this event, I create a folder called leaderstats. Roblox recognizes this special folder, and anything inside it shows up on the leaderboard in the top right of the screen. Then I make a new int value called coins, put in the folder, and that's what we'll save and display. Then I create a new variable called coins value. This will be the variable that will set the coins to the coins that the player saved up. Next, I want to load any saved coins a player might already have. For that, I use something called pcall, which stands for protected call. It makes sure our script won't crash if something goes wrong while talking to Roblox's servers. Also, as you can see in the pcall, I use something called GetAsync, which is a thing that will get the data that was saved or stored in the Roblox's servers. In GetAsync, we have to put our key, basically on what object we want the data to be loaded. In my example, I use user ID as a key. The user ID is a unique number that never changes, even if the player changes their username. That makes it perfect for saving and loading data. So when I call GetAsync, player to user ID, Roblox goes into my coins folder, finds a folder with that player's user ID on it, and gives me back whatever was saved there. Hope that makes sense. Okay, now we write this, but why? Well, as you can see, the success is used before our pcall. Success will be true if everything worked, or false if there was an error. Error is the actual error message Roblox gives us if something went wrong. When we load data from the data store, we first store it in a variable called coins value. Why? Because GetAsync gives us back the save number, but only inside that pcall. We catch it in the variable coins value, so we can safely use it later in our script. Then, once we know it worked, we set coins.value to the variable coins value, which has our loaded coins. Okay, now why did I put this? An else statement is like saying, if the first thing didn't happen, then do this instead. In our script, we try to load the player's coins from the data store. If that works, great, we give them their saved amount. But sometimes, there might not be any saved data yet. For example, if this is a player's very first time playing. In that case, GetAsync returns nothing, so we don't have a coin value to give them. That's where the else comes in. We tell the script, okay, if we didn't get anything from the data store, then just start the player off with 50 coins. This makes sure new players always start with a fair amount, and returning players always get their old save amount. You can think of else like a plan B. If plan A doesn't work out, the script moves on to plan B. For example, if I find my keys on the table, great. Else, I'll check my pocket. Also, I wrote this. This line is making sure of two things. The data store request actually worked, success. The value we got back isn't nil. Why? because this is a player's very first time joining. The data store has nothing saved yet, so GetAsync returns nil. And since you can't set coins value to nil, it needs a number. We check for that first. So if we got a number, we load it into coins. Else, we give the player a starting amount, like 50 coins. I also added this print statement to show you what it says in the output in Roblox Studio. As you can see, this is my first time joining the game, so I get the print statement, and also I get 50 coins in the leader stats. Now, as you can see, I try to change my coins as a server. And while it seems like I successfully changed my coins, when I leave the game, it seems that my progress was reset. That's because we didn't set up the function for saving yet. We currently only did the function for loading the coins. Now, we also need to save coins when someone leaves the game. That's where PlayerRemoving comes in. This works almost the same way as PlayerAdded. Whenever a player leaves, the function we connect will run, and inside the brackets, we once again name the variable player. Now we want to set the data store's value to coins that the player has right before they leave. We once again have to put our key, which in my case is player.user ID. Then we have to put the value that we want to save. In my case, the value can be found in the player's leader stats, so I will make a new variable for the coins. And then I put the player's coin value into SetAsync. SetAsync is how we save data into a data store. It takes two things. The key, this is like the label on the folder, in my case, the player's user ID. The value, this is the actual information we want to save, the number of coins. Next time they join, we can read that number back using GetAsync. Now I am going to copy this line and delete it and wrap the SetAsync into AP call. You can also think of SetAsync like saving a file on your computer. You give a file name, the key, and the content you want to save, the value. Next time you open it, the file is still there with the same contents. As you can see, I get the bonus of 50 coins. Now I'm going to try to change my coins value as a server and see if the coins get saved. As you can see, my coins change. Let's see when I leave and rejoin if the value will still be the same. As you can see, the saving worked, and I don't get the print statement anymore. So that's also how you know it works. Also, one thing to keep in mind, whenever you will change a value in the client, not the server, it's not going to save properly. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you learned something new. I will post more videos on the data stores because there are a lot more things to learn about the data stores. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day and night. Bye.